At the end of a very long year.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome on board our vessel to Mars. Boarding is completed as all systems are set, and we're sure that we don't take the coronavirus to outer space. Thanks for your cooperation, by the way. We are ready to launch. First rule, don't panic.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
At the end of a very long year. Hope, 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 hope.
Seconds till liftoff. T-minus 15 seconds. Good night, it's configured for flight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Fourteen of 17 SDGs are addressed through immunization. And when we talk about universal health coverage, we talk about primary health care, we talk about health security. Without immunization, there's none of that. We know that there's a strong economic return on investments.
Jewelry shop assistant Margaret Keenan made history, getting the first dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. She turns 91 next week and said this is the best early birthday present she could wish for.
How do you answer an argument made by the American Academy of Pediatricians who say that if the family wins, vaccine makers are going to be chased from the market, children are going to die?
At the end of a very long year.
So, as I looked into it, I found out that indeed every drug company in the United States was controlled by the Rockefellers.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice.
I'm not going to talk about mandatory policy and where I stand on that point. It may well come up later, kind of hoping it does in the questions, because then I'll share with you my rather one-sided opinion on that.
Rights. Boy, everyone in this country's always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right, you have no right, we have a right, they don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the boogeyman. Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible. Personally, when it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all.
I'm not going to talk about mandatory policy. And where I stand on that point, it may well come up later, because then I'll share with you my rather one-sided opinion on that. 14 of 17 SDGs are addressed through immunization. We know that there's a strong economic return on investments.
Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein many times despite his past. Let me read a bit. In fact, beginning in 2011, Mr. Gates met with Mr. Epstein on numerous occasions, including at least 3 times at Mr. Epstein's palatial Manhattan townhouse, and at least once staying late into the night. According to interviews with more than a dozen people familiar with the relationship, as well as documents reviewed by the New York Times. His lifestyle is very different and kind of intriguing Although it would not work for me, Mr. Gates emailed colleagues in 2011 after his first get-together with Mr. Epstein. Of course, he went on to have many, many more get-togethers, so I guess it was intriguing.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us in a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything.
Sure. So anyways, Bill Gates, who is not a medical doctor, but has a lot of opinions about what to do with your body, he's the toast of the town these days. I guess that's what having $50 billion does for you. You can buy whatever you want, including loving media coverage. I'm surprised the New York Times even published what it did about his close personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
You know, Lauren, why QAnon types seem to focus so much on pedophilia rings and human trafficking? This seems to be their thing.
Well, I think there's two things going on. So from the perspective of Q and those who are politically aligned with this source and promoting the conspiracy, they are just taking advantage of this to promote their political agenda, to gain support. Why it works is because in conspiracy theories in general, people are very interested in getting involved in a group that they think is involved in some kind of salvific function. They're going to save the world. They're a small group of people who have special knowledge and insight, and they're going to overcome a sort of great ignorance in the world, and they're going to rescue, particularly, the appeal is that they're going to rescue the innocent. They're going to rescue those who are being abused. So a large number of conspiracy theories or political propaganda in general usually uses motifs about women and children being raped, tortured, sexually molested, exploited, killed, etc., in order to galvanize this desire to come to the rescue of these people on the part of the audience.
Children are going to die. Equity.
I'm not going to talk about mandatory policy and where I stand on that point. It may well come up later, because then I'll share with you my rather one-sided opinion on that.
There's no point trying to kill a pandemic at home. There's no point trying to stop climate change in the domestic market. Those issues, as you very well know, and as the WEF has constantly advocated, are global issues that need to be dealt with on a cooperative manner.
14 of 17 SDGs are addressed through immunization.
Now there's so many medicines. They got this prescription stuff that they advertise on TV, and I swear half the time the side effects are 50 times worse than what the medicine cures.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice.
They are so naive. They think we are not aware of their crimes. We know, but we are just not ready to act. The storm isn't in the air, it's inside of us. I want to tell you about love and loneliness, but it's getting late now. Can't you hear outside of your supreme hoodie the wind that's beginning to howl?
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.